Hey, so in today's Contractor Click podcast, we talk about the economy, the increased cost per leads, and what you can do to make sure that you survive and thrive in your business. Stay tuned for more. Hello there, my friend. Welcome to another episode of the Contractor Click podcast. I'm your host, Danny Barrera, right along with our Contractor Click crew. What an honor, team, to have you guys here. South Florida team, our amazing project manager, Emily, is with us. Rockstar Client Success Manager, Louis, and another Rockstar Client Success Manager, Mr. Isaac. How are your morning going? How's your morning going, Emily?
Great now.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've got coffee. We're doing a podcast.
What are you talking about today?
So today we're going to talk about how to not go out of business in 2024.
Ooh,
spicy.
Interesting. What inspired that conversation?
You know, we're seeing a lot of just change when it comes to the marketplace. I think that's something that we're all familiar with. I don't think that's a surprise. So, you know, in that change, it's navigating a landscape that some entrepreneurs have not seen before or they haven't seen for decades.
Ooh,
and
that's good.
here we're ready to empower all of our clients and just every home improvement contractor that we can get in contact with about, hey, this is how we can make it through this challenging time.
That's right.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, this is the greatest opportunity of a lifetime. Like you think about where in the times that things get really tough, a lot of people just decide to quit on the opportunity to grow, evolve, stay ahead of the competition. What do you think happens like in the next 36 months? What are you seeing and what are you forecasting? We've had these conversations behind the scenes. What's on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that we're about to go into a recession or have started seeing that. And a lot of the folks who were, kids or younger in 2008, when we didn't know that these trends were happening.
I was not even in business in 2008.
A lot of us weren't even.
I was working at Fox News.
Exactly. I mean, we weren't part of this conversation, 13, however many years ago, 15 years ago. And now fast forward now and look at the situation that we find ourselves in. We're either first-time home buyers or business owners now. We're with people with serious financial implications. So what does it mean? It means the next 36 months we're going to have to stay vigilant and going to have to double down. So if you're a business owner, this means going down harder on your investments, going down harder on your sales strategies. These are things that you can't let through the cracks because they're just going to get beside you. And 36 months seems like a long time. Believe me, if you were to tell me 2021 was 3 years ago, I would tell you that you're lying.
Wow,
It still feels like 2020. So that's
Right.
also my point of, being 36 months feels like it's going to be a long while ahead, but the progression that can happen in that time is quite a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Louis, I mean, the COVID gold rush, right?
Oh yeah, it is
Talk to us.
drying fast. But I think you hit it on the nose. But also like it's gonna be a tough time because feelings are gonna play a big role. I think you have to be very aware that, especially as a business owner, when you get those feelings of fear, frustration, you have to really be strong and not let those take over in your decision making because those could also play a big factor in how you choose to carry your business or make your decisions. It's like when it's time to double down and you have a big feeling or sensation of fear, like you got to overcome that.
Oh, yeah. Some of you have been praying for the opportunities of a lifetime. And one of my mentors, Mike Aguilar, he said, hey, you guys that have been waiting for the opportunity to get wealthy, this is the time. This is the time. So I want to start off with my daughter always sends me like this Bible verses at nighttime. And this one, she sent it last night. I was already sleeping. Who's the best reader here? Who reads the best?
Emily.
Probably Emily.
Right there.
Yeah.
Take us, this is our Bible study. Welcome
Here
to
we
our
go.
Contractor Click Bible study. And let's go over a quick story. I think it's going to be a relevant piece to this conversation.
One day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home from the wilderness, exhausted and hungry. Esau said to Jacob, I'm starved. Give me some of that red stew. This is how Esau got his other name, Odom, which means red. All right, Jacob said, but trade me your rights as the firstborn son. Look, I'm dying of starvation, said Esau. What good is my birthright to me now? But Jacob said, first you must swear that your birthright is mine. So Esau swore an oath, thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn son to his brother Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate the meal, then got up and left. He showed contempt for his rights as the firstborn.
Oh,
Louis, hey, what are you taking from this conversation?
that is so. I mean, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
like if you think about it from a bigger perspective, like at that time, right, the birthright was everything. It was
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
like you were the
Right.
heir of all that your ancestors carried, and it was a very, very important thing. And I see that resembled perfectly right now, because it's like these business owners, their business is their heir, and it's
That's right.
sorry, their business is very important, very, very special to
It is
them.
their
and it's
oxygen.
Like, but in a time of frustration, or in a time of like very uncertainty, like 2024, how quickly are they willing to like give all of that up just for maybe a breath of fresh air, a little bit less pressure, a little bit more
that's
reassurance
good.
in today's 2024
Right.
market? When it's like, I mean, if you just stick with it and push through, like, how big is the prize going to be at the end versus like something really quick or quick
Right.
relief of pressure right now?
Yeah,
right?
so throughout this podcast, we're going to go into the conversation, not just talk about the environment, but walk you through some strategies. How can you be more strategic to navigate the next 12 months to 36 months so that you can stay ahead, survive and thrive in these times, right when everyone else is not having these conversations? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I get flooded with Facebook ads of like 20 jobs of you don't pay. Yeah,
Right.
50 leads. We've seen the 50 after last podcast
Right.
episode, the 50 leads are free. Maddie said, you know what? I think I don't see as many people running the epoxy.
No.
50 epoxy leads are free. All
Right.
jokes aside, what are you getting from that verse, and how does that apply to the contractors and business owners?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of fact that history is going to repeat itself.
Yeah.
Right. There's a quote that I like to come back to. Charlie Munger was Warren Buffett's right-hand man at Berkshire Hathaway for many years and just passed away earlier this year. But he has a quote out of his Poor Charlie's Almanac book. There's no better teacher than history in determining
yeah.
the future.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of fact of there's nothing that we're going to go through that we haven't seen in the past. You look at COVID, you know, we've had generations of human history where we've had sicknesses and diseases wipe
Right.
out, you know, parts of the race. You look at business, there are trends in the market that things come down, you know, numbers shift and people get shaky and they want to just close up shop because it's difficult. There's a dream, there's a beautiful, you know, rainbows and butterflies dream of owning a business and creating your own schedule and
Yeah.
being financially free. That also means you're doing the difficult things. You're managing a recession. You're cutting back on expenses and you're doubling down on advancing your business. So my point being, history is going to repeat itself to where there is always a dip, there's always an uptick. It's just how do you prepare for
Right.
the uptick?
And you know what, Isaac, like when you were speaking about that, I think all of us are Christians here, and faith is a big part of who we are and what we do. And we're very open about that here at Contractor Click. But I think one thing that you touched on and said kind of inadvertently is the reality that so many people are living in so much fear, right? And this fear has become like all consuming. And we live in this culture where it's almost this fear mongering of like, oh, well, we've never seen this before and we don't know what's going to happen next. And all of these different aspects of triggers and trauma and all of these things. And the reality is like, yes, while there is a new market to navigate, if we become paralyzed in our fear, both as individuals, right, when it comes to our personal growth, but also even as business owners and entrepreneurs, we will realize that we're completely stuck. Like we won't be able to move forward. I think the growth dies in comfort. And
Definitely.
right now, we're just in a season where people are scared to take a next step.
I mean, the
or
consumer,
turn.
starting with the consumer
Right.
themselves,
Right.
you know, they're
Exactly.
holding tighter to their money. We've been talking about like, are you guys offering financing? Have you explored your opportunities? So next week,
Right.
and coming on our next podcast episode, we're going to have an expert coming in here walking you through how you can leverage financing and things like that, tools to help you navigate. But from the mindset perspective, like, you know, a closed mind is never going to see the opportunity.
Right.
Which is one thing to take into your advantage. So if you're listening to this, I want to give you kudos because guess what? There's a lot of people that are just so focused on the negative. They're not looking to improve themselves. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Contractor Click, as well as look us up on Spotify and Apple. That's where we want to hear from you. If you're liking the episodes, let us know in the comments. What do you think about this episode? Let's get back to the conversation here. And now that we know starting point, we've been talking about this since last year. This is nothing new for us. You know, we started talking about like, hey, we're going to help our clients build their arc. And some of the clients have been calling in saying, hey, how's everyone else doing? Like, we've noticed the increase in cost per lead.
Yeah.
We've noticed, like, it doesn't matter. You have more marketers coming into this specific environment, marketing more contractors in the area. Plus, you have what you look at the consumer landscape. It's a slower consumer landscape than it was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the COVID gold rush, I mean, you just add sprinkle a little bit of the recession into the mix, you know, the housing market and uncertainty, a political year. And, you know, I don't think it's gotten as bad as it's going to get come in September, October, November. Those are the months where you probably are going to feel like you're hungry and starving. Hey, maybe it's time to sell. But I want to have you consider, as we're having this conversation here, this is your asset. Your business is your asset. It's something that has value. Now, if you think about it from an installer perspective, whatever it is that you do, landscaping, patio, concrete, coatings, etc., you might be looking at this from the perspective and the lens of like, hey, this is not making me any money right now. And I'm not getting wealthy out of this. I'm not being profitable, right? And the moment that you start focusing on that and stop focusing on that and start focusing on the bigger opportunity of how do I build value for my company now? How do I build the best culture to attract the best talent? How do I increase my pricing strategically, which is a conversation we've had here internally.
Right.
Because just in the reality at Contractor Click, Concrete Marketing Crew, we've had to increase the amount of times we spent on optimizing campaigns, right? It takes us 3 times the amount as what it used to take us last year.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. That's what it takes. Now, what does that do to our business as a business operation? It increases operating cost by 3 times, not by 0.5%. So when we have to increase our pricing, and we tell our clients, hey, you got to be profitable. You got to increase your pricing. Not only are we able to stay ahead, but innovate, but also bring you content and bring content to the world so that we can bring the brand awareness. So that's on our take. Now, what we tell our clients is like, hey, with something like the Complete Contractor program, you have a lot of different ways that you're putting your business out there that your competitors might not be doing all of it. And this is why I want to bring this into the conversation of why is it important to diversify and not just have your eggs in one basket on the Facebook ads, but then there's the website piece. There's the Google advertising piece. Even when the cost per lead is double as what it used to be, which is a reality, you know, and I'm part of all of these agency groups. I have a couple of speaking engagements later this year. They're bringing me to talk about this, and I'm like, guys, I've been talking about this. Like, the cost per lead is going up everywhere.
Right.
Like, no one's a magician. Like, you might get a trick working for 1 or 2 weeks, and then it dies out, and then you're done. And there's no strategy behind it. So let's talk a little bit about strategy. Emily, I'd love to hear from your perspective because you do have conversations with clients, and talk about diversification. Why is it important? Why is it crucial?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we talk about a lot with our clients is when we're discussing our CCP program, right, which is our Complete Contractor program, and it includes the website, it includes, you know, all of these different back-end SEO things that we're doing as well, technical optimization, all of those pieces. A lot of times I hear clients and they'll say to me, they're like, well, Emily, I don't really know if I need a new website. You know, my website from 2003 is working. I'm like, okay, let's take a second. And I like to reframe that structure and reframe that thought process for a minute, because your website is one organic piece that once you get beautiful and operating well and the mobile device is working well and all of those different aspects of it are functioning in the way that it needs to be functioning, your website organically is always going to produce for you, right? The reality is that Google Ads and Facebook, the cost per lead is going to shift and change based off of the economy.
Yes.
If you can dominate organic search when it comes to your website, your ranking, even your Google My Business,
Yes.
you will still be in the game if all else fails.
It offsets itself. So
It offsets itself.
when you blend all the
Correct.
cost per leads, it brings it down.
It comes
for,
all
yes.
together. So
Yeah.
the importance of that, right? Because here's the reality. We have some of these, there are some clients that say to us, hey, we don't really need a website. We don't want a website. And they're just going based off of Facebook leads. Well, what happens if Facebook goes down?
That's the kicker.
What happens?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a
Yeah.
real conversation, right? Like, we need to diversify for that reason.
Yeah.
Because if you have all of your eggs in one basket and something happens, and we've been there, we've seen things happen.
yeah.
We've seen Facebook shut down for a couple of days. We've seen Instagram go
Ad
offline,
accounts.
ad accounts frozen. You're done.
Luis, welcome to the game.
Hey, man.
That's it.
But you're right. Like you're absolutely right, because like you said, if not all competitors are taking advantage of all of the resources, Google, Facebook, a proper SEO strategy, making sure their Google My Business is optimized correctly, a high ranking website. What, like you said, if Facebook, just for whatever reason is not giving you what you need, at least you have all of these other outlets that are there to bring you business. So it's almost like a safety net, but not really. It's almost like a required net. That makes sense.
Yeah. And because of the way that it's all structured today, right, on the back end, just to kind of give you guys an idea and understanding, because of the way that all of it is structured today, everything actually links back to your website. Everything links back to your Google My Business. When you go on your iPhone and you put in that you want to drive to a location, say you search, okay, I'm searching for kitchen renovation near me, even on your map, that's actually backlinking to your website. So there's so much crossover that happens in the digital marketplace. And I know that not all of us have time to learn it, right? We understand that. We're not expecting our entrepreneurs and business owners to fully understand and grasp a digital marketplace, but that's why we're here.
Yep.
And so for us, our responsibility is how can we get you as visible as possible on all mediums? And that's why we do what we do, because it gets you on every single medium.
Yeah. So being everywhere is no longer, I mean, if you're thinking about being in business in 36 months from now, that should be your North Star. That should be what you should be thinking about. All the decisions should be based around that. Website, no website, invest in video versus no video, running YouTube ads, not running it, Facebook ads, social media content, improving the content versus not doing it and cheaping out on it. I mean, you've had a conversation yesterday. I actually captured you on video.
Sure.
Walk us through the mindset that it's what I believe to be a failing mindset in this economy. The thinker that is just wanting to nickel and dime every little thing instead of looking at the long term and knowing like, hey, you're going to be starving here towards the end of the year if you really do not upgrade. It's in their best interest. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So I think from the holistic perspective too, just backtrack a little bit. Everybody looks at things through line items. How does the one line item benefit me in the method of things that I am doing? And this goes back to our conversation about compound interest, about delayed gratification. And the one rule about compound interest is never interrupt it unnecessarily. Just let it run. Just let it run. You can't let a tree grow if you keep nipping it every couple days. It's necessary every few seasons, but not every couple days. So when you nickel and dime everything, inadvertently, what ends up happening is with any service, this could be a car service, this could be a lawn maintenance service and whatnot, you are adding levels of pressure to both your receiving end as a consumer and the provider's end as well. There's a different level of expectation of what you are seeing coming through. So now the service that you once thought was excellent and perfect come down the road, just because it's been bore down. Think of it as like a bank account. There's been a lot of withdrawals, not a lot of deposits. So when you withdraw all this money, now you're in the red.
Right.
And now suddenly when you go to swipe the card to go buy milk, it doesn't go through. It's a lot like this. So to get out of it, to let the compound interest compound on itself, there needs to be a level of deposit. So what does that look like as a business owner? It's talking specifically about this marketing niche. It means keep what you got. If what you got's working, let it run. it's a good working thing if you've got Facebook ads running, if you're getting multiple on a really good cost per lead. The last thing, I had a client call me the other day and goes, hey, so this is going really good. What if I take some Facebook budget and I put it somewhere else? I'm like, great. So if your star player is scoring 4 goals a game, just put him on the bench at halftime, right? So just keep it going. Let them keep fueling, and then add more stuff to the fire. So talking about CCP, when we onboard CCP clients, the automatic response is, hey, $1,500 in ad spend. It's just gas in the car. The money it takes to run ads for
Right.
Facebook and Google is ideal, and that's our baseline. That's the floor, and the ceiling gets higher as time goes on. So, adding to your point, we want to keep adding these things, adding these different layers, because if you believe that one system and one service is going to work for the end of time, it's not going to work. If you come back to the gym after years of being away and you curl 5-pound dumbbells on your first day, that's excellent. And you come back the next day and still curl those 5. You come back 5 months and you still curl those 5. Come back 5 years and you still curl those 5. You're not going to see any changes.
Right.
You always want
That's
to
good.
touch that ceiling just a little bit more so you can touch a higher weight and touch a higher level. Same thing in business. If you stay on the same platform and don't push it just a little bit, get it a little bit uncomfortable, your forearms start shaking just a little bit. Now you're in a position where growth can happen. You tore something down, you build something back up.
And to that point, when you're discussing, doubling down, sometimes even increasing ad spend in a market like this, it's very interesting how a lot of business owners, their immediate reaction is like, well, I don't have the budget. And to that, I would encourage you and say, when's the last time you looked at your margins? That's a great exercise to do with any of your team that's in any type of higher level leadership or management. Look at your margins. See if there are areas that you can pull back and input into, put into marketing. See if there are things that you can manage your way through, right? It's all about managing attention. And if we can figure out a way to manage attention in the season, to your point, Danny, you will see the fruit on the other side of it. And so, we've done that exercise as a team, and that's where those things like price increase and all of that comes into play.
100%. We walk the talk. So we're not going to tell our clients to do something we're not willing to do for ourselves. And look, here's the thing. I shared a video yesterday. Is you're going to be criticized for whatever it is that you do. You're the highest price contractor in your area, you're going to get criticized. You're the lowest one, you're going to get criticized. Doesn't matter. You're going to get criticized either way. Might as well put favor towards your advantage, which means mathematics, the numbers got to add up at the end of the day. However, you can't be the premium showing up as like, someone that just is just running their business off of a beat up pickup truck, right? So it's like, dude, what are we doing here? So I want to invite you to look at the entire online presence if you haven't taken it seriously, because the beautiful thing is those that have taken advantage of the complete contractor program, they're having some of the best years ever. They're not even questioning or wondering what's going on. Everyone else is complaining. And I noticed a pattern and a trend. Everyone that has nickel and dime is suffering right now. Right now. Everyone that has been extremely critical of like, oh, why are you doing this, that, and that, versus the other ones like, hey guys, whatever you guys know how to do best, just run with it and maximize the returns.
Right.
And let the team work, and the team just blows it up. And that's the reality.
Right.
You know?
I think unfortunately the reality is that marketing, for whatever reason, is the first to get cut. And I think that's very wrong.
Yeah, I was going to go there.
I mean, that's what you said. If you have to look at your margins and nickel and dime something, do it so that you can reinvest back into marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing is your lifeline to your client. And then at the end of the day, like you said, the ones that chose to not nickel and dime and chose to really be like, you know what, you're right. You guys are doubling down because we are. You said we walk the talk. We're doubling down. And they're like, I see you doing it. I'm going to do it as well. Those are the same clients that when those conversations were had in January are telling me to increase their budget today.
Right.
So.
And you had mentioned this client. There was a client yesterday that you were talking about being, really successful and having a fantastic year. And this client opened up last year?
Yeah. Middle of last year. And then when it came time to us to have, almost this exact conversation with this client earlier in January of this year, they were like, you know what? You guys have gotten me to where I am now. You guys saw me from when I was working with very little. You've got me to my success now. I trust you. Let's follow through. And that is the exact client that is choosing to reinvest now.
Right.
To go at a
All
higher
in.
level.
Correct.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing is when you see something working, you double down, you maximize. When you like,
Yep.
talk a little bit about that. What's the mindset's got to be? You know, when something's working, you got to go ahead, go farther than what it is producing right now.
Sure, yeah. I think it's like a pressure point situation too. Once you find a pain point, you want to press on it harder to really seek out what else is tied into it too. Because oftentimes if one thing is working, it's interwebbed into other aspects of your business or different personnel that you have going on. So, you know, people oftentimes want to be good at one thing and then advance into, you know, different verticals and different things. I believe specifically, you know, be the best in what you can do. So, you know, practically, you know, backing track a little bit, the Complete Contractor Program, CCP, that's your holistic, totalitarian control of marketing. People want familiarity. They want a name brand. They want somebody that they recognize. They want faces that they know. They want local names that they trust. And in the home improvement sector, that's absolutely key. Visibility is everything. The more visible you are, the more identifiable that you are. People are going to want to gravitate towards you, and that includes all the services that are, you know, managed in that aspect. But, you know, that being said, the clients who have experienced this growth and the clients who have seen this success with the Complete Contractor Program, there also have been the same clients who have seen the results on a little bit and been able to double down after that. So any new client that I onboard, the conversation's pretty simple. There's always a lot of talk about, you know, budget and how much can I spend? How much should I spend? You know, this is a lot. You know, back in my day, we didn't need marketing, XYZ, and that's fine. The reality is in today's market and in today's services playing field, you have to be marketing even on the bottom level, from door-to-door paper flyers to Facebook ads and Google ads. Doing that then allows you to be in a position to where you can create your name, get your name across to people who need to see you, to be more visible and control your brand. I think that's important in today's market. I think that puts you in a place where you could be the number one person in mind.
Yeah, and I think I love what you said about that, because one of the things that we miss in this marketplace too is if we are succeeding, there's a tendency to not reinvest that success back into the business. And I'm about to say something kind of controversial for a second, but if you are a business that's not at a high margin right now and you have a good month and then you're driving around a brand new vehicle, there's probably something that you need to check in your heart about why you feel it necessary to reinvest that back into yourself or materialistic things. Some of the most successful business owners that we've worked with are the people that will use that good month or even the good quarter that they've had and reinvest it back into the business. You don't see them driving a new car.
No.
Right.
You don't see them buying a new house.
Right.
You don't see them, I'm actually going to hire 5 new employees. Now, listen, there's a time for growth, and there's a time that you will be able to celebrate the things that have happened in your business, but this is not the time.
No.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's an honest conversation that we need to be having, because I think people even look at us here and they think, well,
and those
must be easy.
conversations happen behind closed doors where couples, husband and wife, have to get real with themselves. And usually if you're listening to this, we have a majority male audience. You want to be the champion. And I had a conversation with a client. He hasn't told his wife how much in debt they are. He's afraid to bring up the struggles in business. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? Like, your relationship is suffer, not because you're not showing up as a husband. I was going to curse right now, but I'll keep it clean. You're showing up as a bleep liar to your spouse. Christian, you got it. And the reality is you need to have those conversations. Hey, spouse, let's run through our economics right now. And for the next 36 months, this is where we need to be at.
Yeah.
This is, if you have those Disney cruises, great.
Yeah.
We got to put them on hold.
Yeah.
This is short term, but on the other side, start building value for your business. Like, your business is an asset that you can actually exit and
there's
sell if you want to
legacy
cash out.
there.
Yeah,
There's
you go.
legacy there. That's the biggest thing. Is it's it's the instant gratification. Well, I really want the Disney cruise, or listen, I'm a female, and I'm about to say something controversial. Like, I really want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's not me. I don't necessarily want to be a stay-at-home mom, but there's a lot of women out there that will say to their husbands, I really want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to pick up a side job. I don't want to do this or that. The question is, are you willing to make the sacrifice? And this is an honest conversation that you can have with your spouse in this setting and say, hey, are you willing to make the sacrifice in the short term for a return that's going to leave legacy for ourselves and our family in the long term?
Yeah.
And that's
I've
it.
seen it happen, especially the contractors that come Christmas time around and this happens with the smaller contractors. So if you're on the smaller side, you're listening to this perhaps first year in business. I can tell you what, if you invested more money during earlier months, you would have had the money to not stop the marketing and advertising so you can give your family the Christmas they deserve, versus stopping marketing to try to give your spouse or your partner the Louis Vuitton bag that they want for that Christmas. And you will be in a better place, and you shoot yourself in the foot. So marketing and advertising has got to be the last thing that goes before you close doors. It's got to be the last thing. That's it. If you just take anything out of this conversation, doesn't have to be with Contractor Click. You could do it yourself. You could do it with another marketing partner. We'd love to have you here as one of our Contractor Click clients. However, it's in our best interest to tell you what's best for you.
Right.
And that's what matters. Marketing, advertising, lead generation for your business, that's the lifeblood of your business. When leads stop coming in or leads get more expensive, let me tell you, you got to work those leads. And every opportunity counts as, how many have I been saying?
I mean,
Every opportunity counts as 3.
yes.
Every opportunity counts as 3. I've been saying that since last year. Every real lead counts as 3. And what have we been noticing in a lot of these places? The cost per lead is going up. I'm like, I've been telling you guys, like, you haven't been listening.
The cost of 3 leads is 1 lead now,
here. Yeah. But Emily wanted to take me out of the podcast here. She's like, man, you're coming in too strong in this podcast. Tone it down for a second.
No. I don't think the words that you're saying are strong. I think the language can come across
Let me
strong
just clean up this.
sometimes.
We're actually interviewing what's her name?
Tristan?
Tristan. she's behind the scenes camera. I don't think we
I know,
have a
Danny's so well behaved
backstage,
today.
So she's like, man, make sure you keep it PG-13.
Yeah,
today.
Well,
I made an ask, and we've
That was
made it
part of
through
the
the
question,
entire.
too.
We've
Yeah.
made it through the entire podcast.
Yeah.
Praise God.
So
Look
now,
at this.
So now we have 7 seconds to let it rip.
let
This
it
is awesome. No, so I mean, so really quick on that financial piece. One of the best businessmen of our time, Jay-Z, says if you can't afford something twice, don't buy it.
Or
Whoa,
3
that's
times.
so good.
Or 3 times. And that's just like, I mean, from nonsensical things too.
Yeah,
Like
right.
believe me, I like nice things. I think all of us like
Right.
nice things. And I really want to like touch home. There is nothing wrong with nice things.
Right.
I am the first to buy a Louis Vuitton bag versus one from Marshall's. I'm the first one to do that. However, my point being is when you create, as somebody who has lived that, just speaking honestly, when you create unnecessary financial pressure in your own personal pocket, suddenly you nickel and dime the person who is feeding you business. Suddenly you start to nickel and dime people who are incredibly substantial to the lifeline of your business and to what is a day-to-day operation. So that's a very important thing. There's a lot of, you would be surprised in business how many people are really good at making sandwiches, but they're not really good at tracking the financials of the ham, cheese, bread, lettuce, tomato, and so forth.
so true.
And that's part of the conversation. This is free information. People pay thousands of dollars to have someone scream this in their
You're
face.
welcome.
But this is the biggest thing is we have conversation with folks and they tell us, hey, we're the flooring experts, we're the roofing experts, we're the pool experts. We know what we're doing, and yes. However, we are marketing and business experts
Right.
too. We understand what it is like to create margin, sustainable margin. We understand what it's like to cut costs where costs need to be cut, and then experience abundance where that comes
Right.
to flow as well. And that's part of the conversation, because going into the recession, from our earlier topic, these are things that you're going to have to do, not only in business, but in your personal life
Right.
as well, because they're essential to keeping people floating. If you don't want to furlough people, if you don't want to let go of people, there needs to be, extra space in the coffers. If you don't want to degrade the quality of your service, there needs to be space in the coffers, and then trim the fat where you can, but don't get rid of the main hose.
And you'd be surprised how much fat there's that you can trim.
Oh, it shows up
Right?
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like,
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But I loved what you said, because it's very true. Like, here at Contractor Click, a lot of us come in with different previous backgrounds and experience in different marketplaces and as entrepreneurs of different businesses. So one of the things that we bring to the table and the values that I truly believe we stand for as well is just the ability for us to have healthy communication with our client and coaching.
Yes.
And true business coaching. Like, hey, we're going to tell you that this is what we think you should do. And if this isn't a good fit, then we probably shouldn't be working with you. And that's not no hard feelings. We wish you all the best. We wish your family lots of success. But there's a lot of companies out there as well that will be they'll be settling, taking the wrong clientele, or booking a project for a cheaper price that's not worth it, right? And so I think that's a conversation that we've had as well as a team of, hey, we need to stop underselling ourselves or making a discount here and there. And we're even seeing some of our contractors doing that as well, right? Because it's easy in a time of pressure like this, it's easy to say like, oh, you know what? Like I'm just gonna lower our prices. I'm gonna do this or that. But the reality is, I said this to Isaac the other day and he thought this was so funny. But the reality is that when you go into the grocery store right now, the grocer is not apologizing for milk being $5 a gallon.
Right.
Because they can't do anything about it.
I know.
Right.
Because it's the reality.
Because I'm like, hey guys, like our pricing at Contractor Click has increased as well, and they're like, man, you got to stop coming in with that tone of voice of like almost apologizing,
Yeah.
Because I'll look after our partners, our clients. Like that's what I look after. These individuals here are in the front trenches. I mean, you guys are going to war for our clients, and you guys are seeing. But also, what I'm not seeing, because I'm part of like the marketing side of things and the leadership side of things, I'm not seeing what goes on like as far as the overhead, as far as how much more we're actually doing that's running our business, and it's costing us money. And if we want to continue serving our clients at world-class levels, we have one option, which is to help our clients elevate, and we all continue moving forward. Right. And that's the reality. Like, so
Yeah.
with our clients as well, it's like the ones that are afraid to increase their pricing. Well, buddy, like if you don't have the margin, there's no way you're going to be able to put some money into advertising. So this is not the time to go cheaper. This is not. That's the fastest way to go out of business. That's the fastest way to be out of business in the next 6 months. So what I would recommend, I want to give you 3 things that you can work on in the next 2 minutes here, that you can strategize and plan. The first thing is get a grip in your marketing strategy. If you don't have one, feel free to reach out to us at contractor.click. Quite literally, go to contractor.click, reach out to us, and book a complimentary strategy growth call. Now, this is for partners that are over $2.5 million in business, and you're running. You don't want to lose a significant level of revenue in the next 36 months. You're looking to charge forward, move forward, look for the next level. And those that are looking for maybe more of the self-implementation, we have the Copemaster Lab. If you're under $1 million, like it does not hurt for you to learn how to run your own advertising.
Right.
It doesn't hurt you.
Right.
Because you're going to be empowered. You're going to know what to do, how to optimize your CRM. I mean, this is what we teach in the Copemaster Lab. It's the coaching, and it's extremely affordable. $497 a month right now if you take advantage of it. and you get access to it. Plus, you get access to the world-class CRM and the automations we have.
Right.
So you get a lot for that. But anyways, going back to the strategy, if you don't even know what to look for, I recommend you at least reach out to us and ask us, hey, where should I be moving towards in my strategy? The second thing is understand your revenue and growth targets. Revenue and growth targets, and measure them by the month and by seasonality. You see, a lot of times we make calculations based on like, hey, January and December are going to be, I should be bringing in this much revenue, and oftentimes it doesn't happen. Like it's when it's cold, sometimes you can't install certain type of products in the specific weather. So the sales are lower in those months, which means we need to front load the rest of the year with the type of projects. And if you're not doing your math that way, you're probably going to set yourself up for a wake up call and not hit your target. So that's one of the things. Get a grip on your numbers. We talked about the pricing.
Right.
And the third thing, which is double down on your digital and social presence. It doesn't cost you anything to start recording better pictures and videos. I recommend the latest iPhone. Probably has the best camera, better than a DSLR, I would say. Start capturing every instance. And if you're out there, your project managers are on the field every day. All they need to do is start going live on your social media channels for your business and sharing what's up that day. You see, because someone, like, I don't know who said this last week, when you're busy, that's when people want you the most. And they desire you the most.
Yeah.
So if they see you're out there doing projects and it's a big deal. So showcase behind the scenes, walk the prospect through what it is that you do, how you do it differently, build a good healthy culture, and showcase your employees and your team members. Believe it or not, what we do here at Contractor Click, like bringing you guys here, that's marketing internally as well for our employees.
Right.
Because it feels good to be out there, right? Like you're part of this gig. This is not the Danny Barrera show. Forget about it. Like it's your show. It's you guys. And that's what I'm most excited about. But you have the opportunity to do the same. Every time you highlight your team member and you give them a high five on a camera, how do you think they feel when they go back home and they show it to their spouses, to their children? They might share it on their social media feed. So it's a retention employee tool. So go out there, guys. Give me your last insights here. Give me your one or two insights that you want to share, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I think case in point, this information, we're seeing it on a regular basis, talking with clients, talking with different agencies. We want to use this as a tool for you. This podcast is free. Wherever you get this podcast, share it, like it, leave a comment, because it does mean a lot to us for what people want to hear and what they want to know. I think the info that we shared is case in point for a business owner in the home improvement contract sector and a business owner in general. We're having conversations with, folks who are in different industries and different levels of business, and the general sentiment is the same. It stayed true to what you know and double down in what you got.
I just think that the most important thing here for this whole podcast is that it's possible. Like,
Yes.
don't just cut yourself short. The reality is that, like, yes, we're here to empower you, we're here to educate you, but don't just think that we're saying this to get likes or views. Like, take our words of encouragement as truth and apply it, because it is possible. Like, we want business owners to win.
Yes.
And that's why we're doubling down, and that's why we're asking you to double down. So it's possible.
Yeah.
Trust yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, just look at the numbers. Look at the numbers, look at your margins, figure it out, and then don't be afraid to have the hard conversation with yourself internally. Where are you at? And even with your team, right? Your leadership team, your spouse, whatever it is, and figure out how can we make it through this challenging time, because you can and you will if you're willing to face your fear and go all in. So double down, go all in,
Gentlemen, ladies, gentlemen, look, don't sell yourself short. This is the greatest opportunity. You've been praying for an opportunity to get wealthy. Keyword wealthy. Make a lot of money. When everyone is quitting, when everyone is leaving town and you're the only one and you become the Godzilla, like one of my mentors says, and you're the only one standing tall and firm because you were able to stay afloat and not give up during the hard times, you can capitalize on a great exit. And we have a special partnership program that we're going to open up to just a couple of handful of individuals that are looking to get really wealthy, have a multi-million-dollar exit inside of their business, home improvement industry. But the conversation is the same. It's like, this is the opportunity to have this legacy level wealth that you've been wanting for your business. You're paying yourself whatever you're paying yourself, but at the end of the day, what is it that you're doing? Maybe you want to retire in a couple of years, or maybe you're looking to go into different ventures. Maybe you want to take what you have right now and continue to grow and acquire other companies. Whatever it is, this is the time to double down on yourself. Or on the other hand, you get hungry, you're starving, and you just decide to quit. You're going to give it all away, and then someone else is going to celebrate, say, man, this guy just gave it all away for free.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy or gal.
Yeah.
You could do better. Make sure you stay subscribed to the Contractor Click podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us in the comment. Hey, what do you took away from this podcast? Would mean the world to us. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.